Writing, solving, and checking two-step algebraic equations. Practice. Now, the notes for this assignment were given to you yesterday with the original equation notes. So refer to those if you need additional help. So I'm going to go ahead and work through the purple slides. So we have the first equation, w divided by 5 minus 4 equals 6. When we do the do and undo part, we want to see what is being done to the variable w. Well, we go with the constant first, and that's the number that's not directly with the variable. So that's the minus 4. Well, the undo would be adding 4. And the second undo would be what is still with the w, which is the dividing by 5. Undo dividing by 5, you will multiply by 5. All right, so here we're going to type in our equation. So w divided by 5 minus 4 equals 6. All right, so I'm going to start by doing the first undo, which is adding 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides of the equation. We must do the same thing to both sides of the equation. Now, when I do that, it cancels out the 4's on the left side of the equal sign, leaving us with just the w divided by 5. And on the right side, we would do 6 plus 4, which would give you 10. Okay, so now I'm going to bring down my new equation. So w divided by 5 equals 10. And I'm going to perform the second undo, which is times 5. So I need to multiply by 5 on both sides of my equation. And when I do that, it cancels out the 5's on the left side, leaving me with just w. And 10 times 5 is 50. All right, so now for my check, I start by writing the original equation. W divided by 5 minus 4 equals 6. I'm then going to substitute my value I got for w. So that's going to be 50 divided by 5 minus 4 equals 6. I'm going to work out what's on the left side following order of operations. So the first thing I need to do is 50 divided by 5. That would give me 10. Bring down the minus 4 equals 6. And then I do 10 minus 4, and 6 does equal 6. So that value for w that I solved for is correct. All right, so now I go to the second purple slide, and I have a word problem. Emily's Bikes rents bikes for $16 plus $4 per hour. Eduardo paid $36 to rent a bike. For how many hours did he rent the bike? Well, in the previous notes, when it's asking the question, so for how many hours, that's going to be your variable. So I look in the problem and I find where it's mentioning hours, or I could also see per hour. So he's going to have to pay $16 to rent the bike plus 4 each hour. And altogether, he's going to end up paying $36. So there's my equation. Now for the do, well, I see 16 and I see the 4. Well, the 4 is the coefficient. The 16 is the constant, and we want to undo the constant first. That's a positive 16. We look at it as adding 16. And what would cancel that out is a negative 16 or minus 16. The second do is the coefficient, which is the 4. That 4 is being multiplied by h, so times 4. So to undo that, we need to divide by 4. All right, so my equation again, type that in, 16 plus 4h equals 36. I'm going to do the first undo, which is minus 16 on both sides of my equation. Minus 16. The 16s cancel out on the left. That leaves me with 4h equals, and 36 minus 16 would come out to be 20. So my new equation says 4h equals 20. And I'll perform my second undo, which is dividing by 4 on both sides. And h will equal 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, so type in my original equation. 16 plus 4h equals 36. I'm going to substitute my 5 in for my variable h. So bring down the 16 plus 4 parentheses 5 equals 36. Okay, now order of operations says I need to do 4 times 5 first. So actually I'm going to have 16 plus 4 times 5 is 20. And then when I work out 16 plus 20, that gives me 36. And 36 does equal 36, so that is correct. All right, so that's the purple slides. I'm going to look through the green a little bit. So just to start, 3p minus 4 equals 11. My first do is the constant, which is minus 4. So the undo would be plus 4. My second do is the 3, which being multiplied, so it's being multiplied with 3. So my undo would be dividing by 3. That's as far as I'm going to go on those. So let's see slide 5. Negative 3x plus 4 equals negative 2. My first do is the constant of 4. So add 4. And I'm going to undo by subtracting 4. The second do is the coefficient of negative 3 that's being multiplied. So it's being multiplied by negative 3, the variable is. So the undo would be dividing by negative 3. All right, next one. B divided by 2 plus 5 equals 8. My first do is the adding of 5. So I'm going to subtract 5. The next do would be the dividing of 2. Undo that by multiplying by 2. And the last problem. So now the last problem has a word problem. Ray paid $43 at the trampoline park. He paid a $13 entry fee and $10 for each hour on the trampoline. How long was he on the trampoline? All right, well, let's see. In order to go, he needs to pay $13 to start. And if it's a fee, you only pay that once. So then you're going to also pay $10 for each hour. So 10h equals a total of $43. So if that's my equation, my first do is the constant, the number that's not directly with the variable, and that's the 13. That's a positive 13. So the undo would be subtracting 13. And the last do and undo would be the multiplying with the 10. So the undo would be dividing by 10. So now if you've watched through the whole video, you at least have the do and undo laid out for you. And on this last slide, you have the equation. So hopefully you watched through the end. And now it's just up to you to solve each of these equations. Good luck.